Pain is something most people try to avoid. They distract themselves from it, numb it, or run from it. But no matter how fast you run, pain eventually catches up. Loss, failure, rejection, disappointment, these are not rare events. They are part of life. The question is not whether you will experience pain, but what you will do with it when it arrives. The Stoics didn't see pain as something purely negative. They saw it as raw material, something that could either weaken you or strengthen you, depending on how you respond. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the obstacle in the path becomes the path. In other words, the very thing that challenges you is the thing that can transform you. This idea changes everything. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "How can this make me stronger?" That shift turns pain from something you fear into something you can use. Power is not built in comfort. It is built in moments of pressure, resistance, and struggle. And when you learn to use pain instead of avoiding it, you begin to develop a level of strength most people never reach. Pain often feels overwhelming because you resist it. You try to push it away, deny it, or replace it with temporary distractions. But resistance doesn't remove pain, it amplifies it. The more you fight it, the more control it gains over you. The Stoics believed in facing reality directly. Epictetus taught that you should not avoid what is difficult, but learn how to deal with it. This begins with acceptance. Acceptance does not mean you like the pain. It means you acknowledge that it exists, and stop wasting energy pretending it shouldn't. When you accept pain, you create space to understand it. You begin to ask deeper questions. What is this experience teaching me? Where am I being tested? What can I improve? This approach transforms pain into information. And information, when used correctly, becomes power. Every painful experience carries a lesson. Failure teaches resilience. Rejection teaches self-worth. Loss teaches appreciation. But these lessons are only available if you are willing to reflect instead of react. Most people miss this opportunity because they focus only on the emotional discomfort. They get stuck in frustration, anger, or sadness, and never move beyond it. The Stoics practice reflection as a daily discipline. They examine their experiences, learn from them, and use that knowledge to improve. When something painful happens, pause. Instead of reacting immediately, observe. What went wrong? What could you do differently next time? What part of this situation is within your control? This process turns pain into growth. It ensures that no experience is wasted. And over time, you begin to see challenges not as setbacks, but as stepping stones. One of the most powerful ways to turn pain into power is through discipline. Pain often reveals your weaknesses, your lack of consistency, your habits, your reactions under pressure. Instead of ignoring these weaknesses, use them as a starting point. Build discipline around them. If failure exposed a lack of preparation, become more disciplined in your work. If rejection revealed insecurity, become more disciplined in your self-development. If hardship tested your patience, train your mind to respond with calmness. The Stoics believe that discipline is the foundation of strength. It is what allows you to remain steady when everything around you is uncertain. Pain gives you a clear direction. It shows you exactly where you need to improve. And when you act on that information, you begin to transform. Another key principle is emotional control. Pain often triggers strong emotions: anger, fear, sadness. These emotions are natural, but if left unchecked, they can lead to poor decisions. The Stoics didn't aim to eliminate emotions. They aimed to control their response to them. Seneca warned that uncontrolled emotions can become destructive. The goal is not to suppress how you feel, but to prevent those feelings from controlling your actions. When you experience pain, take a step back. Create space between the feeling and your response. This pause allows you to act with clarity instead of impulse. Over time, this practice strengthens your emotional resilience. You become less reactive, more composed, and more in control. And that control is a form of power. Pain also forces you to grow beyond your comfort zone. When everything is easy, there is little reason to change. But when you face difficulty, you are pushed to adapt. This is where transformation happens. Not in moments of ease, but in moments of challenge. The Stoics embraced discomfort because they knew it was necessary for growth. They didn't wait for life to force them into hardship, they prepared for it. When you experience pain, you have a choice. You can retreat into comfort, or you can use the experience to expand your limits. Choose growth. Even when it's difficult. Especially when it's difficult. Because every time you push through discomfort, you become stronger. Another important aspect of turning pain into power is perspective. The meaning you assign to an experience determines how it affects you. If you see pain as punishment, it will weaken you. If you see it as an opportunity, it will strengthen you. Marcus Aurelius believed that your mind has the power to shape your experience. By changing your perspective, you change your reality. This doesn't mean ignoring the difficulty. It means choosing how you interpret it. Ask yourself, how can this benefit me in the long run? What strength can I gain from this? This shift in perspective turns pain into a tool. And tools, when used correctly, build strength. Pain also builds resilience, the ability to recover quickly from difficulty. Each time you face hardship and continue moving forward, you strengthen your ability to handle future challenges. Resilience is not something you're born with. It is built through experience, through struggle, through persistence. The Stoics valued resilience because it allowed them to remain steady in any situation. They understood that life is unpredictable, and strength comes from adaptability. When you stop avoiding pain and start facing it, you build resilience. You become less fragile, less dependent on external conditions, and more capable of handling whatever comes your way. At some point, you begin to realize that pain is not your enemy. It is a teacher, a guide, a force that pushes you toward growth. This doesn't mean you seek out suffering. It means you no longer fear it. You understand that every challenge carries the potential for transformation. And that understanding changes how you approach life. Instead of shrinking in the face of difficulty, you step forward. Instead of breaking under pressure, you adapt. And in doing so, you turn pain into power. If this message resonated with you, don't stop here. Subscribe to the channel for more Stoic wisdom that will help you build discipline, master your emotions, and transform every challenge into strength.